Hi everyone, welcome to No Nonsense Whiskey. My name's Vin PF and on today's episode we're going back to Johnnie Walker. Now it's been a minute since I covered a Johnnie Walker, about a year or so. I've covered all of the kind of like basic level ones of the red, the black, the double black. I've even covered the blue, although that was just a sample I would say. And of course the White Walker, the infamous White Walker. And, you know, I have a mixed bag of experiences with Johnnie Walker. You know, they're obviously a world-famous brand. I don't need to tell you that if you're here looking at it. It's obviously you know who Johnnie Walker are. And I have a mixed bag kind of impression of them. You know, obviously the red I wasn't a big fan of, a bit rough for me. Really love the black, the 12-year-old black. For the price, you can't really beat that for like experience, mouthfeel, that sort of thing. The double black I thought was, you know, it was good, I liked it, but the step up in price just didn't warrant it. The blue, you know, yes, it's a good whiskey, it's a good sipping whiskey, but far too expensive even now. I mean, when I covered it, it was years ago now, it was 150 quid, now it's getting above 160. It's too much money. Yes, I know what's in it is exceptional, but it's too much money for me. And obviously, finally, the White Walker, which, you know, is trash, utter trash. I still have the bottle somewhere on the shelf because it's still my best video by a long shot, where I kind of pan that one a little bit. But yeah, so today we've got the Green Label 15 year. Now, it's taken me a while to cover this, and it's a bit of a strange one because I've always considered this my favourite of the Johnnie Walker kind of standard range when I'm sort of putting cost involved, you know, in terms of flavour profile versus cost to achieve that. The 15 followed closely by the black 12-year-old. Spoiler alert for the rest of the video, I do like this a fair amount. But there's a little bit of history to this that you need to know about. It's been around since the 80s odd, but it disappeared in the kind of mid-2010s, I guess, so about 2012. For a couple of years, 4 years, I think, it disappeared for. And I guess stocks were an issue. You know, carrying an age statement like 15 years is important because this is a blended whiskey, right? So this is, I mean, at least four we've got on here. The four whiskies that they label on here are Talisker, Linkwood, Cragganmore and Kalila, which you can see on that lovely snazzy label there. That's your kind of core malts, but it might well be that there's other ones in there as well. We just don't know. Couple of things to note about this that are important. This is a blended malt, which is interesting because some of the other ones that we've covered, not all of them, but some of the other ones that we've covered are simply blends, so they've got some grain in there as well. This is all malted whiskey. 15-year age statement again is important because everything that's in here must be a minimum of 15 years. So if they've got more than those four whiskies from the other distilleries, they've all got to be 15 years, which is pretty good. You know, age statements are getting harder and harder to come by for a good price. You know, the emerging market of newer distilleries coming through with really high price points is driving up the price of good age-stated Scotch, and so is this kind of scarcity of stocks. You know, we're talking, 15 years ago, I haven't been drinking whiskey for 15 years. I think, well, maybe, oh yeah, it's getting there, 12 years, but still, when this was distilled, I wasn't really drinking whiskey yet. So we've got this whole new market of whiskey drinkers like yourself who are coming into it. And yeah, the stocks were there. Anyway, long story long. It had a rebrand from the old style. This is the new style. I'm not doing a comparison with the old style. I am not entirely sure I've tried the old style. I think I might have done back in the day, but I don't know for sure. So yeah, this is the new style. Not going to be comparing it. We're just going to be going with what this one is today, and moving on from that. Final bits of information then are ABV, which is 43%. You know, we're probably added colour. We're probably not probably chill filtered, and it sells for roughly 40 quid. If you're eagle-eyed, you can get this for a bit cheaper, 35. So it's a good step up from the black and the double black. You know, the black tends to roll for about 20 to 25 pounds, the double black for about 25 to 30, so we're pushing up, you know. And then obviously we've got the gold label and the platinum label, which I may well cover in the future. If you want to see those videos, make sure you hit the like button so that I can see that you want to see these JW videos. Yeah, let's get into it and see what we've got in the glass, shall we? Hidden nicely behind here in the old No Nonsense whiskey glass, of course, merch. Let's check out on the nose and see what we've got. We don't talk about colour when we think it's been coloured. It's definitely been coloured. Let's move on. Okay, it's worth noting at this point, if you're not sure about the Johnnie Walker range, that this one is supposed to be a bit smokier. You know, the black, the single black, let's say, the black label, and the double black, to be fair, are kind of smoky. And I've been led to believe by kind of reviews online of the original. I did do a bit of research on the original one, that it was a bit smokier than this one. But again, I did say I wasn't going to compare the two, so let's move on. It does have a bit of smoke on the nose. It isn't overbearing. Nice, light and gentle smoky notes. Not peaty, just smoky. You kind of get a lot of oak on this. For me, I'm getting like a briny, seaweedy vibe from it. Dare I say, probably the Talisker. You know, that's a good seaweedy vibe in it. Obviously, the heaviest peat in here is going to be Kalila, so I imagine that's a very low percentage. And usually, if you want a peated blend, you're looking at about 7 to 10% of the total volume from that peat. So, yeah, and there's some sweet notes in here as well. It seems a bit dull on the sweetness, but apples, kind of honey, I guess. Let's try on the palate then and see what we've got. Okay, it's quite a lot going on in this. Again, it's not like overly smoky, overly peaty. A little bit sweeter on the palate than the nose portrays. Getting that very light smoke coming through now. More of those salty vibes, those kind of sea air, seaweedy vibes coming through. More of that honey as well. And as you swallow, you get a kind of medium, it's not overly long, kind of, you know, short to medium length finish, and that's where kind of a slight waft of smoke comes along. Now, if you're not into your peated whiskies at all, or haven't tried peated whiskey, I'm sure this will be quite smoky for you, but for seasoned peat whiskey drinker like myself, it's very light on the peat, and I would kind of wager that this would be a good hopping point for people that are looking to kind of get into peat or expand their flavour profiles beyond things that aren't peated. Worth checking out. But it's it's not overly complex. I'm not going to say it's like a mind-blowing whiskey, but it's just really nice. It's just nice whiskey. It's easy to drink. It's slightly more complex than the black and the double black, with that extra layer of kind of slightly more peaty, a little bit more sweeter. Just, I would say, a little bit more interesting than some of the other offerings on the Johnnie Walker range on the cheaper scale of this. So yeah, it is a bit of a step up if your budget doesn't allow that, but I think for its asking price, that sort of 35-40 quid mark, especially these days, that's pretty good pricing, I think. I got this actually as a birthday present. It was my birthday last month, so I was given this, which was awesome. And I don't know why I haven't bought a bottle of it since, or before, because I've known I've liked this dram for ages. It just seems to pass me by. I rarely see it on shelves anymore. Not that I go to any specialists anymore. None in my city, unfortunately. But it shouldn't pass you by. If you've ever been interested in this, I would say definitely get it. If you're looking for a step up from the other ones, I would say definitely get it. You know, if you're not a fan of Johnnie Walker at all, then whatever. I would ask why you've lasted so long in this video, but thanks for watching. But I imagine if you're watching this now and you've got this far, you are a fan of Johnnie Walker and you want to see how this stacks up. In which case, I personally think this is the best of the Johnnie Walker range for its price point. There are better whiskies, I think, like for mouthfeel and for drinking experience and showing off and all that lot, but they're for the kind of the higher budgets, which we might get to another day. Again, smash that like button if you want me to get some other stuff in, and I might. But yeah, for me, an absolute winner. I'm going to enjoy this one. As you can see, I already have. I'm probably not going to. It's not a special dram. I'm just going to kill it, and it'll be all good. In which case, I'll just say cheers to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you again on more videos. For seasoned peat drinking. Oh dear. For seasoned peat whiskey drinker like myself,